Well, Team Dadbod is going to the finals, but who is going with them? We have a crazy, ice-cold elimination that left off on a cliffhanger and an incredible guest live in studio with us tonight. So join us for the episode 9 recap of Champs for Stars in just a second.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Let it begin, people.
Like you're hyping.
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something
Who
got
does
a
it?
hold of me tightly. Flow like a hawk daily at night.
How about on the couch?
All right. I don't know.
Does she know the words?
I don't know the words.
Extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal.
Welcome in, guys. As you see, Louise Hazel is in the building, in studio with us. Once again, we love having her on, and it was so important to have her on after this episode. A lot of politicking, a lot revolving you and Casper. Crazy elimination. We see Louise get a little altered for once. We never see her fall under pressure, so we're going to break it all down. I'm so excited. Welcome in, guys. I'm happy to be back. I was off last week. I was in Hawaii. Now I'm back on the mainland. You know, I'm just an islander now. My name is Jenna Bussiere. We got our full panel. Everybody's back. Pam is back. Justin's here. What's going on, guys?
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Jay Yang. Super excited to talk about tonight's episode. Can't believe it's episode 9. One more episode before the finale. And I'm kind of curious to see who makes it to the finale.
Wow.
This is intense.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for joining us. We're so happy to have you in the live chat. Thank you. Send your questions to Louise, who we can't believe is here again. We're so excited and happy to be back. Can't wait to get into this.
Yep.
What's going on, guys? As always, David Punkart, Christopher. Thank you guys so much for being back, ladies. That was hard last week.
What's we got it?
You did great.
It's great to see
Dudes
you.
on top of
Louise,
dudes on
as
top
always.
of dudes. Yeah.
Thank you.
You did a great job in the hot seat. And then welcome in on our couch over there, Louise. What's going on tonight?
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Looking
Wow.
as red as her shirt right
Yeah.
now. Look at how
Bless
gorgeous
you.
this woman is.
Stop it. Keep going. Go on.
Always, in truth, always gorgeous on TV, but mind-blowingly stunning in person.
Pam.
And the other person that we had that with was Jordan, who you had on your podcast.
Yes.
I was like, he's always attractive on, you can tell,
Pam
but in
had the hots for
person,
Jordan.
who doesn't?
Clearly.
For real,
I mean,
for
but
real.
who doesn't? He was, some people, you meet them in person and they look great on TV, and then you're like, oh, they're
Yeah.
short and they have
Yeah.
bad skin. And
So
they're,
everybody
it's
watching
just
at home.
the magic
Yeah.
of TV.
Everybody in the
But-
live chat, be jealous. Be
Yeah,
very
be jealous.
jealous.
Pretty
of
interesting.
She's
of the
better than you
presence
even
that
think.
we're in.
Yeah.
But now that we've buttered you up enough,
Yeah.
we're going to get into everything tonight. The elimination, everything about Wes and Kayla trying to fight for Tony and CT's love.
Got you.
I think we should start with the elimination because
Let's
that
do
was
it.
insane. So let's go a little chronological order, start from back to finish. We leave off, first off, 1,000 jumps.
Oh.
And you're an Olympic athlete.
Oh my
That's insane.
goodness. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? I literally go round the set and I'm like, who thought of that? And I'm like literally angry. I'm like, who thought of that? But it was 1,000
wanted a
jumps.
name.
It was 2,000
And then it was,
total.
yeah.
2,000 total jumps.
And then the ice pick, and then 1,000 more jumps.
I mean, how bad were your calves and your quads?
On
your
fire.
Shoulder? I mean, that had to be burning.
Yeah, like you see Kayla stop there, and you see me stop. Like, it's tough out there.
Do you
It was a
remember
joke.
at about how many jumps you did stop?
Oh gosh, you know what? I think that was very, very flattering because it was really tough.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can remember we got probably to 500 jumps, and I was just like, right, okay, we're doing well. And I think it wasn't until we got ahead that I was like, okay, I can afford to take off a little bit of steam. And Casper was just literally there like
Beast.
a pogo. You know what I mean? He was just on it. And
Well, his
Yeah.
calves are huge. You can see them in
yeah.
every challenge that he
and
does.
he was like, he does lots of like jump rope
Well-
and stuff like that. And people were like, oh, you're a jumper. I'm like, I do like one jump.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
train in
3
this.
max.
So would you say out of everything you've done this season that this is probably the most physically demanding challenge or just competition or elimination you've been in?
100%. Yeah, without a doubt. I think, slip and slide was really fun. Then there was like shuffleboard.
Yeah, yeah.
What else did we have?
well, the twister.
Yeah,
from
that
last
was
week.
crazy.
Oh,
You guys
that was
had-
super
Cheater.
hard.
Wicked.
Cheater.
Well, this is the thing. Like Shane, oh my God, Shane the snake. He was literally throwing that cheat. I'm like, we weren't cheating, Shane. We were losing. Like, so what was going on? Do you want me to go through that right away?
Sure,
please.
definitely.
So let me just clear that up for the record, because as an Olympian, to be called a cheater
Right.
cuts deep.
Right.
So I can remember hearing like right foot red. And I said to Casper, I think someone said right foot red. I think it was right foot red. And then he was like, well, I didn't hear it. I said, well, listen, I'm going to go right foot red. You stay right foot blue so that one of us is right when they come around and check, because they're going to come around and check at some point. And
Right.
one of us is going to be right and one of us is going to be wrong. But so let me take the risk. And so we were talking about that.
Right.
And that's what we did. And,
So
you know,
it was
he managed to stay
strategical
up.
more than
Well,
anything. It
Yeah,
wasn't
but we
cheating.
could have been up there all day.
You
like,
also took the
it was
bullet on
fun.
that, so which is very uncheater, which is very sportsmanlike. Because when Shane started ranting about cheating, he was saying Casper was cheating, and you were like, we can't hear because you're screaming, and I did it, and
Yes.
if anyone cheated, it was me, which clearly it wasn't you cheating because of that, but you
Yeah.
sort of explained it. And with that, also with the Shane thing, everybody has great things to say about Shane, and I'm sure he's wonderful. We haven't had him on. I don't know him. He loses his mind sometimes.
Well.
And his big dig, sometimes like when CT blew up at Tyrell Owens, he sort of made T.O. look stupid. Like, you're like, damn, like, CT didn't want to. With Shane, you're just like, oh.
Keeping it personal.
Shem's for you,
Yeah.
though, but he looks embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
I
you
think-
don't feel bad for the person he's calling out.
I
You
like
feel
Shane. I
bad
crack
for
up on
him.
Shane. He
I
makes
think
me laugh.
I know,
what happened in this situation,
goes
Shane was
lunatic, I'm
just
like-
he was just pissed that he was not winning.
Yeah.
And he was
Clearly.
just, and you know what? The more he stands up there and shouts at us, the more we have to stay in that position.
And the more motivation you have. That's true. It's delaying your time
Completely.
of Miz spinning the wheel. And it's
Completely.
I will say
So-
though, I am happy to hear that, because I did give you a hard time last time when I watched it, and because I expected more from you. I know you're
David
an
called you a
athlete.
cheater.
Yeah.
I did. I
Did
called you
you?
too. I talked about it with
David!
Justin. I did.
You're
I did.
cancelled.
I knew it was the mercy of the edit. I was like, she's probably not cheating. It's probably just the edit.
Right,
and
I was
all this
like,
other stuff,
Louise.
but-
Also,
Let me
Louise, who
down.
always keeps it cool, was like, we're not cheating. I'm trying. Like, you just calm, cool, and collected are like, I heard it. I'm doing this. We can't hear because you're screaming.
And it's so obvious how
And we
Shane-
were the furthest away from the Miz as well.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
there's
Oh,
everyone's
so-
kind of having conversation, and you're
Right.
like, okay.
Can't hear.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie, like, that was my, like, mistake. And I kind of own that one.
But you
I
did.
was, thank God for Casper, because
Yeah.
he stayed up there. He could have been up there all night, honest
And the
to God.
communication between you two was key. It was smart of you to say to him, I think I heard this. Let me do that. And then you stay with the original one that you were on.
Yeah, we were working as a team. It was good.
And Shane, that was clearly, he's like, there's no reason I shouldn't have won this. I am the
Exactly.
most flexible. I'm just sitting there telling why he's the best. And
Yeah.
it's like, you didn't win, dude.
Yeah.
Deciding that
Super
everybody
bummed.
else is cheating isn't going to make you have won.
Yeah.
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 But let's go back to then. So you
Okay.
and Casper are this rock star team. But in this ice cold elimination, it struck me, I saw him communicating with you in a way I haven't seen before.
Oh
He
my God.
yelled
Snapped
at
at you for the first time.
He
cursed.
snapped. Yes, he did. And this is, yeah. I mean, at that point, obviously, you're doing your best.
Right.
And when someone turns around and tells you to, to keep effing going or whatever, in my mind, I can either go one of two ways. I'll
Right.
keep going,
Right.
or you're going to die. It's as simple as
Right.
that. And so I was kind of like, I just kind of had to bite my tongue and just stay in the game and not kill Casper.
Really?
Well,
So is that the first time then you felt anger for your partner? That
Oh,
you guys
no.
worked so well for
Oh,
each
God,
other?
no way, no. He angers me every day. Every day.
I feel like in the heat of the competition, though, sometimes it's like you understand that if you lose this, you're going home.
Exactly.
So you would definitely be in the zone, and it's ill-advised for you to just suck it up, and it's just the heat of the moment. Like I'm sure he didn't. It's just kind of like when guys are in the gym, like, come on, you could do one more, come on,
Yeah.
come on, and you're just like berating him, and he's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, fine. It's so.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Casper just did not want to lose.
Exactly.
It's as simple as
Which
that. And
is
obviously,
great.
you don't want and you don't want to be up there doing all the work on your own either. So I can understand where he's coming from, but he definitely deserves a little bit.
Yeah.
Did
But
he apologize afterwards?
No.
also,
This is Casper.
he is a 1,000,000% a beast. Like, we saw Drake and Kayla taking multiple breaks. I think you
Yeah.
took a 1 second break in your 1,000 jump. he's a maniac, which is great, but it's like some people need to breathe. You know, like it was pretty.
It was like the first time we saw Louise look human for once. Normally you're so cocky.
Yeah,
and
oh,
chill.
gotcha.
Yeah.
She was so cocky. She was like,
I'm
okay,
not.
the
I
second
hold my
he-
hands up. I am not an endurance athlete. Like I'm a power athlete. We're just not conditioned for that type of stuff. We're
Right.
like I say,
course.
we're conditioned for one big jump
Yep.
on one big occasion and make it count, rather than 1,000, 2,000
Right.
jumps, an ice pick, and some cold clothes.
This is
like,
insane period.
So
though.
you
There
do
you
have
go.
to kind of cross train then and do a lot of long distance running, anything that would bring your endurance up?
Yeah, so like before I knew I was going into the show, because we kind of find out a lot of the time at a late notice, and I just kind of kept my endurance training up, like going for long runs while we were filming and stuff like that. We were filming down in Marina del Rey, so I'd run along the beach, and then I'd walk back.
Yeah.
That's good though. But Kayla, we know, is one of the weaker competitors when it comes to endurance. She's set in on multiple challenges. Anything that's kind of a long distance, day long event, we see that her endurance is a problem. So I
Right.
thought you guys had it in the bag. And you do have an early lead. We don't see who wins,
Nope.
obviously,
No.
because
Gotta
of the
wait till next
cliffhanger.
week.
But
Yeah.
where we left off, where's your mind at right now? What's your strategy with this elimination? Because now Drake and Kayla are kind of on your heels when you
Yeah.
had this lead.
Yeah, and I can remember going into the clothes, we thought, you know, we were ahead, but when you're trying to crack those things open and they're freezing your fingers, turns out it's not that easy after all.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Louise, I want to backtrack just a little bit. In that moment, speaking of, pulling the clothes and stuff, when you're ahead already and you saw them actually catch up, at that point, did you feel that pressure? Did that kind of worry you a little bit? Like, how did they catch up? You guys had a pretty decent lead.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you never want to feel like there's like no worse position than being out in front.
Yep.
This is literally like, as a competitor, I know what this feels like. I have, when I won my first major championships, that feeling of being ahead at that critical moment, everybody is gunning for you. Everyone. And so that's a very, very scary position to be in. And you have to kind of suppress your demons and your mental demons, whatever they may be at that moment, and just stay really focused and in the game.
I mean, the one thing I've noticed about these games, and everybody in the chat, if you guys can chime in, is like they make it to the point of where it's a game of inches. So it doesn't matter how strong you are, it doesn't matter how much endurance. Any person at any time can slip up the lead, and any person can come from behind to basically take the lead. And I think that's the reason why, hats off to the producers of the show, that's why it's so entertaining, because it's not like it's just based off strength. It's not just based off endurance. It's like any single person, the person that you're paired up with. So that's why I super enjoyed watching tonight's elimination.
And this is a hard challenge too, because it kind of makes it an equal elimination.
Yeah. Yes.
Considering it's Drake and Kayla, you thought that they would be a weaker team
Yeah.
to
A
go
layup.
against.
Yeah, and this is the thing. You never know what the elimination is going to be. It can be a leveler, like we said,
Right.
Now, when you got into the elimination, were you thinking, oh, I wish maybe it was Wes and Booby that we went against? Or were you
To be
still
honest,
happy?
I really didn't mind who it was. Like, by that point, I think you could tell Casper and I were a lot more relaxed, and we're coming in on, on a piggyback ride, and I'm just like, whatever will be, will be.
Right.
And I think I said it in the interview, I'm not going down without a fight. So whoever it's going to be needs to know that they have to bring it.
Right.
Simple as that.
And again, with all this is for charity. As a non-challenger, as a non-pro, it's like you're not staking your rep for the next game. You want to win because you want to win.
Right, exactly.
But it's not, you want to win for your charity. The whole desire to show everyone to make alliances for the next round of MTV show is like,
I
Yeah,
just
we
feel
don't-
like the best thing I like about you and Casper, and I've seen it the entire season, is when you guys play to win. Other teams, they play not to lose, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
a lot of
This
times
makes sense.
they're playing
Yes.
because they're scared. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. But there's never been a time where you and Casper are like, oh, I don't want to go home. It's like, we're here to win. And I think
Right.
that's what has separated
It's a
you guys
different mentality.
from other
Right.
people.
Yeah.
And it totally shows.
Completely. I think when you saw us up there, when Tony and CT nominated us in,
Yeah.
fist bump, respect,
Exactly.
up
Let's
we
do
get,
this.
we stand there, we've accepted our fate.
Right.
Whereas if we track back to a few weeks ago, when we're nominating Ashley in and Kayla
Oh, and
in,
she
and it's
freaked
literally,
out.
and
Yeah.
it's like,
you just
take
can't
your
win.
medicine. Yeah.
You can't win either way.
But also on that, when we were watching tonight with the prior challenge, the textile, which we'll get to, I don't want to jump ahead, but we were watching you guys, and we'll get to there because I want to talk about your strategy. But on this topic, I was saying I want you guys to win just to show that even though there's levelers, when you're just the best, you're the best at everything. Like kind of hands down, you and Casper, it's like there's nothing flippy cup he was like, I don't drink. I've never been to college. Like, you still want. Like, there's things where
when you have
it's
3
just like
legs
the
missing
best
and
is
the
the
rock
best.
climbing.
Here's
You know,
an
there's
honest
always
question
people that are going to
I've kind of always
winning.
wondered.
That's-
Do you consider yourself and Casper on equal playing fields, or do you feel that you're stronger than him or he's stronger than you as a competitor overall?
Honestly, I can hand on my heart say he was definitely on better form than I was.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
like he had a little bit more of the endurance, at least in this challenge, and he obviously held on the twist
know
and rock
what?
climb wall a little bit longer.
The thing is, he's a really well-rounded athlete. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
So
And
strong.
so the advantage that he has over me, you know, if we were to line up in a race, is strength. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And we
But-
obviously don't see what's going to happen. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was
going
to say, I think I have the mental fortitude over
think
him.
you do.
Okay.
You
He's
the
an
more
Olympian.
cool
He has
That's
the
the
dancer.
leveler.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is
good.
as important.
And always keeping your cool. Like, that's where
Yeah.
we saw Casper was pretty cool all the while. But not thus far, you've never lost your cool. Like, we've never seen you.
Well, she looks like,
Lose
you're
your cool.
cracking a
Like
little bit
her.
under the pressure, you said in your confessional this time.
Well, exactly. I think we're getting closer and closer to the dreaded end of the show,
Yeah.
the
Taste that money.
finale. And so once you get into the final 4, you're thinking, yeah, crap, this is it now. Like, this is
Right.
literally the final hurdle. And as we know, if we take the eye off the ball for a second, that's when it goes.
And of course, we don't see who's going home, who's going to the finals, but we'll get into our predictions at the end of the show, and we're going to say who we think goes.
Okay.
Left on this cliffhanger. But we do want to get into the challenge of the day, and we're
Yes.
so thankful that Louise got to come in and give her input again, because we love interviewing people. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube, you can also subscribe to us on iTunes and listen to us as a podcast. You can listen the day after the show, on your way to work, when you're at the gym, just hanging out. So make sure you hit us up on iTunes as well, rate and subscribe us so you can listen to all the guests we have on, and just we can talk the Champs with Our Stars, the show we love so much. So now let's move on to the daily challenge, which was textiles. And you and Casper, again, were ripping it. And I wanted to ask you what your strategy was and how you guys worked so well together, because it looks like you were helping him a little bit.
It was very much like get there first, get there quickly. And he was literally just, I can remember just flipping. We got into a rhythm and we were just turning that thing over. We were way out ahead. And then, until we weren't.
Yeah.
And we didn't quite make the line. We had to go back and then reset. I'm not sure whether they showed
did
this.
not show that.
So
They
we
show you
actually
winning.
made it. Yeah. So we ended up getting there first in the end, but we lost a lot of time. We were way ahead.
Okay.
Way ahead.
It's-
And then we basically stopped an inch before the line.
So your strategy with the puzzle, though.
And and this is where I think when you're a champ, you have the advantage because you know and you've done these things before. So I'd seen, I think on a previous show where people are literally looking at what
Which
you're
you're
putting on
right.
the board.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that,
I'm
yeah.
not giving anybody any hints.
Smart.
So I just
Very
kind of
smart.
stacked up all of the tiles. I'm like, I'm getting the words, I'm stacking them up. This is our strategy. And then when we have them all, we're going to put them all on. And then what I noticed was everybody kind of checking each other's.
yeah.
And I'm like, right, you know what? We've got to move because
Right.
people
Are doing it anyway.
Yeah,
They're
this
all
is
gonna
getting
get 'em up,
populated.
whether-
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we're going to find
Yeah.
ourselves behind. But what I wanted to do was make sure we had everything in place and then put them up before.
And that was so
Yeah.
smart. And you almost can't blame people for cheating
But-
at that point, because
Yeah.
everybody's doing it. And if you don't, it saves you time. If you don't know the answer to the question, which I do want to get into the
Yep.
pop culture type of questions, because at first, when they mentioned that, I thought of you because I was thinking, being
Yeah.
from the UK, maybe pop culture is a little bit blurry and different.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that at all? That any
Well,
of the
I thought
terminology?
it was just going to be celebrities, and we were all like, "Oh, we've all got this," you
Right.
know. We've
Especially
all
with
dated
Casper, too.
celebrities,
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be an easy run, and then it was literally when we just got to the questions, it was just like, "What the hell does that mean?"
Right. It's pretty much
slang,
it's pretty much
basically,
millennial
is a slang.
terminology.
Yeah.
But
Completely.
I'm kind of curious in the sense of, do you think if you guys actually had put your stuff on the board, do you think you would have actually won?
Do you
Or
think that cost you time?
Do you think that cost you time?
I think no. I think the problem was very much the writing, like the quizzes. We were
Okay.
just trying to figure out
So
what
it's
every
pretty
single
much
one
the
meant.
actual semantics of it as
Yes.
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the thing that we struggled with because when we were getting them up on the
course.
board, we were getting up on the board quickly.
Okay.
And I remember Casper saying it was like another name for your other half or whatever,
You guys,
significant other.
they did show
Bae.
that.
Boo.
Or bae,
Yeah.
yeah.
He said
Or
boo,
bae.
and I'm like, this is not 2011.
I was like, boo, yeah, you're boo.
Who says
Yeah.
boo anymore?
Nobody.
It-
That's,
it's-
I don't know.
People
It's
don't
just
say that no more.
Yeah, it's just interesting because the way that you
Bae,
guys
it's
prepared,
like
I feel like
bae,
for this challenge that that you guys were the best pair because when you're flipping it reminded me of Flip Cup. So this challenge was very similar to the elimination of Flip Cup, and the fact that Casper's super, super buff, and I feel like you're the lightest of all the girls, so you guys were working together, as opposed to CT and Tony, where they're super big. So when you're lifting the other guy up, he's super heavy. And with Drake, he's not that strong. And Kayla, I know she was just on it. She wasn't moving with it. So he
I
has
felt
to,
like
in
I
addition,
was,
lift the entire weight.
If I'm right, because I remember coming home with my leg absolutely smashed up.
Well, we saw
because I was just like, boom.
Yeah.
Boom. And as it came to the top, I would just get to the ridge and then I'd let my weight transfer as
smart.
it came
Right.
down.
Technique, yeah.
And just kept the momentum going.
And
So I thought
Tony
it
and-
needs to be like a wheel.
And CT did that too, and we saw when they switched. Drake and Kayla actually wound up switching, and they didn't get there because Kayla's so strong. They got there because Drake understood that you have to put your weight on the edge.
You
and
can't just
pull
like
well
lie
down.
on it
Like,
and have
give
the other
some
person
momentum.
like, you know.
Yeah.
What did you think
So-
about seeing Drake struggling out there? Because when you were on our show last time, you said that he was one of the most underrated players.
Yeah, I think, you know, this when it came to strength, it was always going to be this way. And so, you know, we weren't really worried about those guys until they started cracking open the box. And then it's like, you know what? Once you're all there, you're watching everyone.
Right.
Everyone is a threat. And obviously, we wanted so badly to win that one in order to avoid elimination. We were just like gunning for it. And I think we made like, you know, just silly mistakes.
Do you remember
Yeah.
what word or phrase that you were stuck on?
Boobay.
No, they got that first.
Gosh, I can't remember.
Side eye.
yeah.
Side
eye, yeah.
It was a struggle.
Shade.
Some of them were so
Shade.
funny. It's like
Yeah.
somebody
No
who's
filter.
desperate.
Yeah.
It's thirsty.
Yes.
Yeah, something that
It's pretty much millennial terminology.
Yeah.
On an overall comment of the show, I will say that this challenge was great in that it harkens back to our regular MTV challenges where they do something physical and you can get ahead, and then they level it, which is a great formula that they do in a lot of the traditional challenges where there's something physical and then these people that are beasts get there and there's a puzzle and it's just all of a sudden, not that, you know, it wasn't as non-close as some ones we've seen, some people that are great get there, but they're doing that a lot more this season of Champs vs. Stars. And it's good to see because it shows the stars that are consistently the champs know this stuff. Anyone like your first season, anyone can roll around and, you know, mustard and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of luck.
Which was
like that one.
horrible.
I like
It
that
stank. I feel like we had it in our hair for weeks, that mustard.
can never get rid of the mustard. But then we see in this challenge that CT and Tony do redeem themselves, Team Dad Bod. They
Team
come
Dad
in,
Bod.
Yeah.
even though Miz challenges them, says they're
Yeah.
kind of disappointing and that they were overrated. They do come in and redeem themselves.
Yeah.
And then the politicking comes.
Yes.
So
I hadn't seen, so I've seen it, but I didn't know about any of that kind of shuffleboard politics.
And did you
there
get to
was
watch
so
it?
much
Yeah.
hyped up.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And Jess and I were even saying this, they're throwing you so many curveballs, the editing, that you're thinking that all of this is hyped up between Wes and CT and Tony and Kayla, and then it's just the teams that get to vote for LVP
right,
first anyway.
Yeah.
It was just a huge kind of disappointment in the sense where the entire time, okay, CT and Tony, they have this huge decision, right? Friend and friend, Tony and Kayla, CT and Wes, and in the end, they're like, actually, we can all win. We're just gonna vote in Kayla, and then we're gonna have, who do we want to? Oh, we'll vote in, you know, freaking like Louise and Casper. So I was just like, kind of like, well, everybody wins in that sense. So I was just kind of disappointed with
I
how
think
it came out.
the sad thing about the challenge is sometimes the women just get a bad rap because the guys stick together and then they just get thrown under the bus every time.
In the good way, though, to which 1,000,000% agree with you, but we did see during the deliberations or West going to CT and Tony and saying, hey, we're friends. You're going to pick me over Kayla and Booby, right?
Which
And
isn't even the smart move for CT.
Yeah.
Which, and CT said, I'm, you know, this charity, like CT for the first time was like, I'm doing what's going to be the best position for the charity I'm fighting for. And Tony and Kayla had an alliance, and he said, I can't do it. It seemed clear that they were ready to vote
For
them
Kayla and Drake to
into
advance,
the,
yeah.
but Wes's game.
So-
it worked.
Do you know what else I
Yes.
think happened? I think the thing that happened is I don't think they wanted to be seen to be like backing out. And so I think that I don't think they wanted to think, oh, they had an easy ride to the final because there were such good players.
Of course.
Like, you know, Kayla and Drake,
Yeah.
me and Casper, Booby and Wes. And so by taking that kind of opportunity to put Booby and Wes against me and Casper would have seemed a little bit like, you know what I mean? It would have been
That's the smart. That's
Yeah.
the smart play.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, that's
They
the
did
smart
know.
play.
Well,
I think they should have put them in.
Well,
Do you think that Kayla was dumb then for throwing the vote right back at you instead of voting for Wes
right.
and Booby to
That's
go
where
in?
Wes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Wes's little
Yeah.
brain.
She probably just didn't
creeps
give it enough time to settle
Yeah.
in. She just said, "Oh, you voted for me. I'm shooting it right back at you."
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I might
Yeah.
be dozy, but I thought that the whole thing was that Tony and CT were going to pick who they brought to the final, and then the other two teams were going to
That's
do it.
what
So it
everybody,
was-
I think,
That's how it was set up on
That's what
the
everyone
show.
assumed.
That's why
it
we
looked
got
like they got
confused
to pick
watching.
who was going to the final, and then the other two
Yeah.
teams. So we all thought Shirley, Kayla, and Drake, because they would
Yeah.
put
And
the two
I-
stronger
I think the
teams.
hardest thing about that, if going back previous weeks, the four corners. This was the point where we had to break that bond with the four corners, and Casper and I had to say Drake's name. And the difference was we had very much an understanding that, the four corners, Booby, Casper, myself, and Drake could go as far as we possibly
Right.
could. But there would come a point where we would have to shoot one another.
So was Drake mad at you after? Did you guys talk? Did he understand where you were coming from?
Not at all. He was really cool
Super
about
chill.
it.
As long as he gets
kinda
his steak,
just said,
he's fine.
Yeah, exactly. As long as he
Steak
had his
and
steak,
Josh.
steak and eggs in the morning, he's good. Yeah.
It did seem like it was very acknowledged when the initial vote, when you guys had to do it, or Little Mama was voted out, and I guess Casper, it's all coming together now, said Drake was on, it's just because you weren't on our team.
Yeah.
Which to me,
It
I was
came
like,
down to the
those
blue
alliances
team.
obviously become, we saw Brooke become close with her team.
lines become
Yeah.
blurred.
Whether it's,
Yes.
Lines become
the
blurred.
lines become
Yeah,
blurry,
that's
and they said, Drake, we have to go for Drake because he's gotten us here. This is
So
that.
I want to
that
ask you,
loyalty
as
was-
growing and learning from Wes, but now becoming his Jedi master trainer, watching this episode,
more
how-
Stormtrooper.
How do you think his politics were executed in this episode?
Just sucked, didn't it, really?
Sucked.
Did no justice.
He kind of looked a little sad.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think, Wes, we have so much respect for him, and you see CT almost lose respect for him, and he's
Yeah.
kind of in no position. He's played our team, and it's not turned out. He's played the other team, and it's not turned out, and he's kind of just left in the ether, just running around, just like, I don't know what's going to become of me, but I'm just
Right.
here, somehow surviving.
It's funny. I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you because, in the sense of Wes, he got what he wanted.
Well,
he's on his way to the final. So in that sense,
coincidentally, though,
beg, borrow, and
that
steal.
was-
Even though you're not used to seeing Wes politicking and he's playing the sad puppy dog, it doesn't matter because he's on his way to the
You
final.
are 100% right. You are 100% right. And he obviously, obviously we liked him enough to keep him around. That's what I'm going
course.
to
And
say.
he's good. He's a
course.
good
The power was in
competitor.
your hands.
Of course.
He made a deal with the devil, and him and Casper finally connected. And I wanted to see what their relationship was really like, because you see Wes joke like, "You're such a bad person," but they laugh about it.
Yeah.
Was there actual animosity there? Were they?
No, I think, there were moments early on where West was, I'm not going to lie, he was down in the dumps when he realised this is
Really?
not my game and I'm not
course.
driving this bus. He was literally like heartbroken, and you saw that moment where we were like, Wes, come on.
Come on. But hold on.
It's
We
not
need-
Do I
that
have permission to
serious.
We
speak?
need to
Do I have
mention.
permission to speak
Hold
now?
on. We
Yeah.
need to
It looks
mention
sad
Wes
sometimes.
bringing Kayla into a tree to try and convince her that he's building his wedding around CT.
Right.
Yeah, what was that about?
So
They're hanging
as
on
if
the
it's gonna
tree.
come down to
I just
that.
wrote, oh, Wes, this is
He
where
was
it's
tugging
like.
at every string,
Yes.
like any excuse
He
he
was
could
doing
try to
the
use.
most.
Also,
with me.
what?
So extra.
Like, what does that
funny.
mean? What are you talking about? Like, also, it turned out that it didn't matter what you all voted. It
Yes.
wasn't
Yeah.
Wes and or CT and Tony didn't pick who.
I know. If you guys
Went
are
into
watching
it, which
the
is
chat,
just
definitely
crazy.
let us know who you think actually won the elimination is gonna and is basically gonna go to the final. And I'd love to see if you guys think it's gonna be Louise and Casper, or if it's gonna be Drake and Kayla.
I'm going.
So let us know then. I know you can't tell us everything.
Yep.
Is this
Yeah,
power
don't tell
play
us,
going to be
don't
good?
tell
Is that, just please tell us, is it going to be
Sabotage.
good, or
I think the
does
power
it fall
plays have been
flat?
fire.
Yeah.
And I guess we won't know to the finale.
Exactly.
I think
Because
they
we don't know
say
if she's
it.
in the finale.
So,
She might not know. it
She
is.
might
You're
not
so
know what
right.
it is because she might not be in the finale.
But I feel
just
like
assuming you make it because
I
I know
feel
how
like
badass
we've had
you are.
everything. We've had Switch, we've had Trade, we've
Yeah.
literally had every single power play. And people are like commenting on social media about the power plays, and I think they've been brilliant because they've just been absolute game changers.
Nice.
Super unpredictable.
Well, we do have some news and gossip as well
Yeah.
as recapping this
Yes.
episode that hopefully you can help us out with.
Spill the tea.
while we have Louise in, so this has been like the week of Shane, and I don't know if you've kept track with everything Shane has been tweeting or now not tweeting because his Twitter account has been suspended or he's been locked out because Twitter has not allowed him to tweet anymore. We'll get to that.
Twitter cancelled
That was
Shane.
silly. But he took to Twitter and he shared this picture, and he basically talked about a bar fight that he got into at Champs for Stars, and he said that he was sucker punched. Were you there?
I wasn't there, but I
goodness.
did hear about it, and apparently, I mean, he turned up to set looking pretty rough in the morning, and I was like, what the hell
so it
happened to you?
during the film?
Can you give a little background?
Yeah.
So during the taping of this, Shane got into a bar fight with strangers or with?
It looks like
It was a stranger. It was one person who came up and aggressed him unprovoked, and West came in to the rescue. And
that's
was
good.
literally his knight in shining armor. And, you know, I think that's, you know, the camaraderie and the fact that we have each other's backs outside the show is great. But yeah, he was really roughed up.
Yeah,
we
so
were
it
quite
sounds-
worried for
He
him.
took to Twitter and he said that they were at the bar and he was sucker punched by a hater.
Ooh, not cool.
So I guess in the face it looks like. So did some guy really just run
Busted
up on
lip.
him and
Busted
pop
lip.
him in the face?
As far as we know,
That's
and allegedly,
insane.
but yes, as
Do you
far
know
as we
what
know.
was said or what?
I think, like I said, I think it was very much unprovoked.
Yeah.
You know, the story, and obviously everyone was out that night. It was very much like what, you know.
So you all
what
were
provoked
there.
this.
You just didn't see this incident.
I wasn't there at
But
all.
people were there.
Yes,
Mama
but
was
the
there,
other
Devin was there,
cast
Wes
members.
Wes was there.
And so over breakfast the following morning, everybody was recounting what was going on, and we were like, "What the? It's crazy."
And out of the bunch, why pick? Tough guy pick Shane. Go hit Shane. You know what I mean? Like really, out of the bunch.
He's the most flexible one in the entire
Exactly.
group.
Have you
swimmer.
seen him
Yes.
backbend?
No, I'm saying when you
Incredible.
compare like okay, stand next to
CT,
Wes.
yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see you do that to CT or
Right,
Tony.
I dare
Sucker
you.
punch one of them.
But
Shane just should have hit him with like the high kick. A
Right.
high
Yeah.
kick
I'm
to
flexible.
the face. I'm flexible.
Yeah.
Do a back bend into a round off, handspring, punch
So
him in the
why
face
did
that
that
way.
lead? How does Shane's Twitter
Okay, that
being?
doesn't have to do with
I
him
was
getting
like,
locked
so,
out.
then-
But that was just crazy. Do you know where in the timeline of shooting that fell? Was that early on?
I think it was pretty much around the like the wall challenge. Pretty much.
wow.
Yes, it was
So
quite.
towards the- a
I
couple-
felt it was quite late on because if
Okay.
you've seen in the show, like he's not, you know, his face is fine.
Yeah, so he was
Right.
already in kind of a fragile, sensitive state during that because you see him get
No wonder
angry.
he
Yeah,
got
it may
mad.
well have been. I don't know. May well have been. I don't know around the swimming challenge.
But
possibly.
it didn't seem like he was too altered by that. I
You
mean,
know what? He just turned it on. I
Yeah.
think. I have a feeling it was around the swimming challenge because I can remember thinking, you know, oh maybe it was after. I have no idea. But he didn't let it. You
Sometime
know what?
in
He
the
didn't let
past.
it bother him.
That's great.
Yeah,
because
that's
why would
crazy.
you? It's like it's the physical equivalent of an internet troll. It's like you don't
Yeah.
know me, I don't know you. You
Popped in
did
the
something
face, sucker
weird.
punch.
Completely.
Not that it's. I mean that sucks.
But shout out to Shane if he's watching. I mean, handling that
Yeah.
with grace like
Yeah.
he did.
Shout outs
Yeah.
to Wes for coming
Shout
to his
out to
rescue.
Wes, the
So
real
So what,
homie.
what to the rescue? What did he? If he got sucker punched, did the guy run away? Like was the person?
I don't know. I don't think he got
Or did
away.
Wes
That's all I
just-
can say. I don't think he got away.
Shane-
I don't know. I don't know
Wes.
what happened.
Shane tweeted and said
some
that
action.
Wes like hopped over multiple tables. I mean, of course, we
Good for
don't know.
Wes.
We weren't there,
Good.
but it sounds pretty insane. But
Wes is a hero.
good for Wes. Really, that's the kind of person I want to have around me if I'm at a bar and somebody
real.
tries to
Yeah.
get at me.
In the tweet, it says he tackled the guy.
Says he tackled
Wes
him.
tackled the guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wes. Way to
Okay,
go.
good job, Wes.
I love it. So this, again, in the week of Shane. So you all know the IHOB thing that
I
happened.
heard.
So Shane got locked out of his
Do you know?
Twitter.
Hold on, Louise. Do you know? She's like.
No.
Oh, they
Do you know about IHOP?
Yes.
It is
I
the
feel like
International House of Pancakes.
Yep. Stacks on
They're
stacks
making
on stacks.
a bold move.
They changed the last initial of IHOP to now be IHOB to be
Love it.
inclusive for the burgers.
But I thought
Love
it was
it.
International House of Breakfast was what the
No,
B was.
They're saying it's
pancakes.
burgers.
Because that's
It's
what I
burgers.
assumed, and
Yeah,
I was
it's
like,
burgers.
sure, breakfast. That is
But
stupid.
anyway, Shane wished
IHOP.
death upon IHOP for this change.
I did
so
see
now
that.
he is suspended from Twitter for
Oh,
for we don't know how long. He is locked
Stop.
out of his.
Wow.
I love
That's
that
funny.
It
this is.
shows you how
That
powerful.
Yes,
is
the
ridiculous.
powers that be.
Yeah.
I love how this is our breaking news on the
That
show. Like
is
news and
so
gossip.
dumb,
Shane
though.
can't tweet because he wished that IHOP would
That
die
is so
because
dumb.
of this change. But there's the big challenge community is obviously out there. Free Shane and Badger him saying we miss Shane
Free
on Twitter
Shane.
so much.
I agree. That's
agree.
so
I don't know.
dumb.
It's kind of nice, a bit of peace
Yeah.
and quiet on the Twitter.
But wishing death to a brand is not the same as like threatening a human. Like,
Yeah.
come on, what's he gonna
Freedom
do?
of speech, right?
Kill
Very
the bee?
PC, you know.
It's so dumb.
He probably just said the word die and was locked out.
So dumb.
So week of shame, but we also want to give much love and in remembrance to one of the challenge favorites of all time, DM Brown. It's her birthday today. I don't know if you ever watched when she was on the challenge.
Well, they on the challenge Instagram they posted a lovely tribute to her today, and when we were on the previous Champs vs Stars, we actually sat round a dinner table and everyone told us stories about her because I feel like it was anniversary,
Of course.
and so everyone was kind of in a period of remembrance. And I've seen obviously the clips that they've kind of gone on, and CT's really special relationship with her.
Yeah, which is.
And so when it popped up today, I was just like,
her and CT's romance was like everything you could want.
It really.
Romeo and Juliet of reality TV.
It really
she's
was.
Making the bad boy turn good for her, and she's going through so much. He's helping her go through her first.
It was a genuine love
cancer,
story played out on reality TV over multiple seasons.
Did that touch those
Where
heartstrings?
she
Oh my
was
God, I love
struggling
CT and DM's
Yeah,
romance, but I can't believe that
she changed him, and it's apparent today.
and it's
So,
been
yeah.
4 years.
It has
isn't
been.
it?
That's exactly what I was just
So,
gonna
it's
say.
crazy.
So 4 years today, November 14th, 2014, of ovarian cancer, and we saw. I think I can't say facts wise. I think she had 2 stints of it. I know that she beat it the first time around. She just couldn't get a break.
Well,
man.
when she
kept fighting, and she did so well, and she was so inspiring on the show. She kept showing, went through my chemo, and came back stronger. Went through my chemo, came back stronger, and now it finally got to her in 2014.
Yeah, it's really.
I mean, the duel one. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why the
duel,
duel one
yes.
was my favorite is because you saw CT meet Wes, and Johnny Bananas was actually first eliminated in that season, which was great. But you just see a great love story, and so.
And her story will always live on, especially challenge fans
absolutely.
in the challenge community. So it's good to remember her today and her birthday, and wishing her happy birthday. And
birthday
she will
to you.
never be forgotten in her strength. It's been so inspiring this whole time.
I have also like a couple of years, many years ago, obviously over 4 years ago, I had maybe 20 Twitter followers, and I DM'd her, and she wrote back to me every time.
way.
Yeah, I have them. Like I was like, I think you're so kush, and she wrote back like she was that engaging.
That's
With
amazing.
She's
it
a
wasn't
sweetheart,
like
though.
you were, cool, like I had nothing to, you know what I mean, like. And I remember being like, "That's so cool." I was like, "Oh, you weren't treated well on that episode," and like a nerdy fan. And I will. She seemed genuinely kind in that iconic moment after the second bout when she takes off the wig to swim, and she was so upset.
Yeah.
And they're like, "You look hot, D." It's
Yeah, I
just,
love
she's
that.
an icon, and it's heartbreaking. Hopefully, it can do some good.
So much love. We wanted to throw it out there. Rest in peace to DM. We still have some more stuff that we are hoping you can help us out with. So Final Reckoning, the trailer came out during tonight's episode.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw it, if you're hyped up about it, if you're planning on watching that season.
I shall be watching. I shall be staying tuned because obviously, Jose's going in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've got a star in there.
So
It's crazy. Like, what do you think about that? Like, I know you've been campaigning to basically be on the show, but
Have you
he's,
been?
he's a star, but you're not on it. So, like, do they approach you to be on it, or?
I can't say. I'm not mad at him. I'm definitely not mad at him for being on it. I think, shoot your shot. If MTV called and wanted him, they wanted him for a reason.
Sure.
And,
Right, yeah.
Who is his? Do we know who his
It's
partner
another
is?
Big Brother
Yes,
contestant.
Big
Yeah,
Brother.
it's another Big Brother.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
I
it's
guess
gonna be
what
interesting.
we also really want to know from you
Okay.
is, did you get a call to be on Final Reckoning?
I can't say.
Ooh,
Okay,
I
don't
can't
say.
say
I
or
can't
won't
say.
say.
I mean, what I
Okay.
will say is I got a call from the challenge fans because they were literally...
Well, I can't
They've
believe that you
literally been
wouldn't.
non-stop. Everyone on my timeline, on Twitter,
Yeah.
on Instagram, they've literally get Louise on the challenge, but leave Casper at home.
It's-
I'm only joking. I'm
Really?
only
Like,
joking.
but ours is unfortunately, and this brings me to my question. Okay, unfortunately, I think in real, all along competitions on Champs vs. Champs, Josiah, good match. You, sorry, it's too good. Like, no offense on everybody, but you smoke them. So my
God. I
wanna
Now
see
my
it. I
second
don't know.
question
I don't know.
is: we heard as gossip that Johnny Bananas was going to be doing a
American Ninja Warrior?
American Ninja Warrior.
Uh-huh.
Now, my
Johnny.
question for you is, I was like, no, because I watched yours, and I was like, ain't no way he's, no. Is it do we know, and, okay, my question is, do you think he could do it, A, and B, or is it like a celebrity watered down version that he's on? Because I don't know yet.
I think... So,
The legit, what you did, could he do that?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm
No,
sorry. No,
I
that was
just,
my,
you know,
like,
having
no
played
offense
with
on him,
Johnny,
but-
he's super athletic
and he's
super
good
determined.
game and good heart, but come
But
on,
honestly,
give me a
I'm
freaking break.
not gonna lie with you. That course is built for a certain athlete.
Exactly.
That's
A
what I was
certain
like.
athlete.
he
And
must-
Parkour, rock climbing.
exactly.
I
Very
think
upper
it's
body
like Celebrity
dominant.
Jeopardy.
I've
I think they're gonna
experienced it,
give.
and it's no joke.
Yeah, it's no
Yes.
joke.
Yeah.
My
And
question
you're
to
a-
you.
I mean,
Matters.
I hope he does. If
Yeah.
he does, I'll be.
It can't
backing
be
him all the way.
against. I mean, do we know yet, Jenna, the actual because
Probably
we
not.
speculated that he was going to be on like a celebrity version, which would be a
Maybe,
little.
well, maybe
a
not, because a lot of they've had Stephen Amell, and they actually run the actual course.
Who?
Stephen Amell, the Green
he-
Arrow. He's pretty athletic, you know.
I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
how this is going to happen with Bananas
Okay,
because all he
sorry,
did
yeah,
was
okay.
one little
So-
Instagram
Yeah.
promo picture,
But I
no
agree.
other details.
I cannot
Yeah.
see Johnny doing a
We
sound.
all kind of
Me,
said that.
I
we
watched
did.
you climb the wall. It's like,
Yeah.
Bananas,
Yeah.
you're good at politicking, you're fun, we love you, you're great TV. And he's good at things. I mean, not to discount his athleticism in Challenge World, but I saw your that, and no.
Now
Nah,
then,
honey,
since
you
we're on the
can't do that.
subject of you being a superior athlete, I wanted to say, so hypothetically, if the challenge were to call you, would you do it?
I would never say never. I mean,
Okay.
it's a long time. You know, our show shoots over 5 weeks. If you're, lucky enough to be in it till the end, and that show shoots more like 12 weeks.
Yeah, it's about 12 weeks.
they're
And there's like no phone.
No
I
phone,
think you get
international
one-
destinations.
Maybe, yeah,
Oh, they
international
are cut off.
destinations.
It's international
I
destinations.
think maybe you
Yeah.
might get one phone call a week to your
Yeah,
family.
barely.
If that's your life,
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
is for a lot of the challengers, which no shade, that's
Yeah.
great.
If you're
It's
Johnny
worth
Bananas,
it.
yeah.
If it's not,
But
that's
if you have
a
a job,
tough.
my
road to
question
hoe.
to you is: in any capacity, can you tell us if you even come back on the Final Reckoning as a mercenary or anything else like that? If you're not on the actual
can't
show,
say
You can't
that.
say that.
Would I come back?
no.
Would you or
yeah,
are
would you
you?
or
What
are
you?
you?
Saying, are you?
Would I come back?
Okay, would you?
Yeah. If they ask you to become a mercenary
What,
or
just
That's
take-
like a
just
show up
take
for one
people
show.
So
out?
Take someone
hypothetically
down.
asked,
yeah,
you know,
because in previous seasons
I'd
they'll
definitely
have
consider it,
they'll
yeah.
have previous people
So I
come
remember
back.
Jordan came
Yeah.
back, didn't
Yeah,
he?
Jordan came
Yeah.
back. Freddie
Oh
came
yeah,
back.
definitely come back and
Right.
take a few people out.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So having played with Jose on this season,
Yes.
it's kind of big fish in a small pond. He's going to the big pond now with the big fishes.
For real, exactly.
How do you think he's going to do?
Do you know what? There's something about Jose that just makes me think he's going to be fine. Because if you remember, although he was on the wrong team, if he'd have been on our team, he'd have been fine. He'd have been safe. He'd eventually, had to go into elimination at some point, like we all did. But he was kind of ready for a fight, and he wanted to take down Wes, and he was kind of up for it in the end. He came out with a lipstick on. He was gunning for me and Casper. He was like, when it came down to the crunch, and him and Salita, me and Casper, I'm like, we have to fight here, Casper. We cannot sit back and just think this is going to be easy. We actually have to smash it, because Jose he's got some fury and some thunder.
But is it properly directed? I feel like I never had any idea what he was fighting for
So,
or against.
Here's the thing, Jose tried to politic his way, to further his position in the game. And I think that muddied the waters, which made people kind of perhaps a little turned off for him. However, like I say, the only way to go home in the challenge is to lose the elimination. When it came down to the crunch, guys got focus.
Yep.
All right.
Well, we'll see how he fares, and I'm excited for that season and see how it all goes down, and we'll see how Jose will do. But thank you so much for joining us tonight, Louise. Again, we love having you in.
Thanks for having me.
Let everybody know where to find you on Twitter, Instagram, and also about your podcast that you have put out now.
So Twitter at Louise Hazel, Instagram at Louise Hazel, and check out my new podcast, Slay Sunday. It's out now on iTunes, and then the video footage is out there on YouTube.
Oh, okay, so it's podcast with video, kind of like
Slay Sunday.
Nice.
Slay Sunday. We've got Tori Deal,
Yes.
Jordan Wisely, Casper, all of the guys from the show talking about the challenge.
Amazing.
Just about 6 episodes out already. I'm so excited to check it out. So everybody also go Slay Sundays.
Perfect.
With Louise Hazel. Thank you for joining us
You
so
mean
much tonight.
Sundays? We're like ice cream with right? Slay Sunday.
If that's wrap it up.
Slay the shit out of a Sunday. No,
Exactly.
And thanks to everybody joining us in the live chat. Make sure you answer our questions that we presented tonight. Give us your opinion. Who do you think is going to win? Predictions, Drake and Kayla or Louise and Casper? Thanks for joining us. Be with us next time for episode 10 recap. My name is Jenna Bussiere. You can tweet at me your thoughts at Jenna_Bussiere.
What's up? It's your boy Jay Yang. You can find me only on Instagram at your boy Jay Yang, and let me know what you thought about tonight's episode.
Exclusively on Instagram. You can find me, Pamela Gross Jill, on Twitter, Instagram, across social media. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you guys again. As always, find me on that interweb, David Punkar Christopher on Instagram, DPR Christopher on Twitter. Thanks a lot, guys. Good night.
Thank you to Louise again. Bye, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Queen Slay.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.